just 0.025 separating her from her nearest challenger, Elena Viktorchenko from the Ukraine. But it really was very, very tough for Maria Petrova. The first four girls separated by just 0.075 of a mark. That's how close it was. And that set things up very nicely indeed for finals day. Plenty of opportunity for those who'd missed out on medals to seek some sort of revenge on Maria Petrova. And somebody who was very determined indeed to get that revenge was Elena Viktorchenko. She produced some stunning work in the all-round competition. And the question was, what could she do in these apparatus finals? Five finals on rope, hoop, ball, clubs and ribbon. The top 8 girls on each piece of apparatus from the team competition, which took place on the first day, qualifying for finals day. And none of the gymnasts carrying over scores. All of them starting with a clean slate. And rope, quite an unusual piece at these championships because it's not one of the official FIG pieces for this year's competition. There are 5 pieces of apparatus, but they go in rotation. Only 4 are used at once. And it's the turn of the rope to have a rest, but it's used in the team event. And most of the top gymnasts, I have to say, opting not to do rope. So perhaps the rope final, an easier final than most to get a medal in. Yulia Rosliakova, very slick worker, good apparatus handling. She scored 9.6 in the team event with that exercise. And that performance equally as good as the one she turned out on day one. Very exact gymnast. Controls all the movements. And flexible, as you can see from that balance. Look at that standing split. And she opened finals day with a 9.6. Viktorchenko. Quite a new kid on the block, really, in this sport. But even so, I'm sure she wasn't satisfied with her silver medal in the all-round event. She was favourite in this final, scored 9.75 on day one with rope. Slight mistake there, just missed the end of the rope, but recovers quickly. Still looking at a 0.1 deduction for that. Good height on that triple leap sequence. That's one of the fundamental elements of this piece of apparatus. All the gymnasts must include that. 3 consecutive leaps through the rope. ties the rope in a knot for a throw hand balance, followed by a throw flexion up off the floor onto the toes to finish. Vitrichenko, very purposeful gymnast, but she knows better than most that if she's going to be in with a chance of taking gold more than once a day, she'll have to do better than that. Slipped up just at the start of that exercise. Only a minor mistake, but that's the difference between gold and silver. So high on the toes in the pirouettes. Very good footwork indeed from Elena Vitrichenko. And 9.725.
Dernière gymnaste à la finale. À la corde, c'est Diana Popova de la Bulgarie.
That score putting Vitrichenko into the lead. But the Bulgarians traditionally very strong on rope. Diana Popova made the rope final at the last European Championships. Didn't get a medal there. It's a difficult throw, that side jump. We do have to spot the rope well because the catch comes at the very last minute. Double illusion. Very risky finish. Split jump, followed by a split jump. Catching the rope on the back leg. It's so easy to mistime that movement. But no mistakes for Popova. Very solid worker is Diana Popova, but can't help feeling that the exercise lacks a bit of spark and that she could do so much better if she'd inject just a bit more personality into the routine. Sometimes goes out in competitions and really does look scared to death. Almost frightened to attack the exercise. And 9.55, that was enough to give Diana Popova her first major medal. But Elena Vitrichenko takes the gold, and Yulia Roslikova from Russia, well, she took the silver. So Vitrichenko off to a very positive start on finals day, starting as she meant to go on. The second final was with the hoop, and starting the proceedings, bronze medalist from the all-round competition, Amina Zaripova. Zaripova had something to prove in this finals competition. She finished third at the World Championships in Alicante, but went on to finals day and didn't pick up a medal. And that's difficult. Those two arch split jumps into the forward roll, up out of a flexion. No mistakes for Amina Zaripova. Very poised, very graceful, but that exercise not so free-flowing as some of her others. Sometimes a little bit disjointed. Occasionally just a bit too static with the apparatus. Seems to overuse her flexibility in that routine. But not a bad score, 9.65.
Maria Petrova, Bulgarie.
Maria Petrova. This was the exercise which clinched the European title for her. Bad mistake there. Went for the catch under the leg, a blind catch, and misplaced the throw. And she'll lose 0.1 at least for that mistake. Gets back into the routine quickly though. Illusion turn. Difficult catch on that side balance. And that exercise seemed to lack the spark that she showed when she was battling for her all-round title the previous day. And she sometimes has this problem, Maria Petrova. She can't quite raise her game for finals day. (9.775). Would that be enough to get the gold medal in this European hoop final?
Finalist στο στεφάνι είναι η Ελένα Βιτριτσένκο από την Ουκρανία. Elena Vitrichenko, Ukraine.
Vitrichenko, silver in the all-round competition. Took the gold in the rope final. This girl really shot to fame at the World Championships last year in Alicante. Finished 6th in the all-round competition there. That was her first big international, but she did really well on finals day. Picked up a bronze with this piece of apparatus and a bronze on clubs, and took the silver on ball. And that was the move that she missed in the all-round competition, and that could have cost her the championship, actually. Very difficult throw, that. Flicking the hoop from the toe mid-air during the split jump. And another very, very risky element to finish that hoop exercise. Hand balance roll to trap the hoop. And certainly a much better performance there from Viktorchenko on hoop. And she's probably thinking to herself, if only I could have produced that sort of form on hoop yesterday in the all-round competition. She made no real mistakes in the individual all-round, but that exercise certainly had more zip, and she got all her risk elements in there. They all came off. Such an expressive gymnast is Viktorchenko. The difficulty of that routine, quite stunning. And 9.75, that was enough to give Viktorchenko her second gold medal of these finals. The score of Maria Petrova was changed, was lowered down to 9.712, and there's confirmation of those final results in the hoop. Viktorchenko, second gold for her. Petrova has to be content with silver, and another bronze for Amina Zaripova. More action to come from the ball, clubs and ribbon final. Join us after the break.
Snooker. Up-and-coming young stars take on the world's three top players from the United Kingdom, John Parrott, Jimmy White and Steve Davis, in the European Snooker League. A weekly rendezvous with the best of international snooker. Young talent face-to-face with the champions. Snooker, the European League, Tuesday 11 p.m. here on Eurosport. The Stanley Cup, the hottest ticket in ice hockey, one of America's top annual sporting events. The Vancouver Canucks look to keep the Canadian flag flying high after Montreal's success in 1993, but the New Jersey Devils will also have their word to say. The Stanley Cup, Thursday and Friday at midnight on Eurosport.
The 1994 World Cup. Eurosport takes you on the road to the United States with a look back at how they all made it there and extensive coverage of forthcoming preparatory matches.
The road to the World Cup. Italy versus Switzerland, Friday, June the 3rd at 8:30 p.m, live on Eurosport.
Welcome back. The Ukrainian star, Elena Viktorchenko, was in very fine form indeed for these apparatus finals at the European Championships. Collected already a gold on rope and a gold on hoop.
Maria Petrova, Bulgaria, Bulgaria.
Petrova the overall champion. Slipped up on hoop. A drop at the beginning of the exercise, costing her the gold. She took the silver there. Double chaîné into that very difficult trap catch between the feet. This exercise, very deceptive. The difficulty that's packed in there sometimes goes unnoticed because it's such a slow, measured routine. Lovely ball exercise from Maria Petrova. Very smooth. And extremely difficult, technically a strong routine. Her execution of the movement so perfect. Really finishes off the element, doesn't cut any of the movement short. And 9-8. That would be a very difficult to beat indeed. Larisa Lukianenko finished a disappointing 5th in the all-round competition. Overshadowed a bit by Victorchenko and Serebrenskaya. Lukianenko had a very successful finals day at the last European Championships. Picked up a gold medal on clubs and hoop and took the bronze on this piece of apparatus. A very different routine by Larisa Lukianenko. Plenty of verve and certainly plenty of difficulty in there. She's a strong gymnast, is Lukianenko. She's only small, but she's very athletic. And she never does go for the obvious. And you can see her legs absolutely covered in bruises, and that's because she goes for so many unusual sorts of catches with the apparatus. And Lukianenko matching Maria Petrova. Zaripova scored 9-6 in competition 1, the team competition with this exercise. Three pirouettes. Centered that turn well. And that was a brilliant turn. Legs so high. It really span almost if she was on ice. And a lot of difficulty in that ball exercise from Zaripova. Very polished, very positive. And one of the greatest changes that we've seen in this girl, apart from the fact that her exercises are more difficult and more mature this year, is that she's suddenly found a personality. Did have a tendency to be a little bit deadpan, but during these championships she's been grinning all over the place and really winning over the crowd. Serebryanskaya very strong on ball. The pressure was on, though, in this final, which is fairly high scoring. She's already seen Petrova and Lukyanenko get a 9-8, and Amina Zaripova go into the lead with a 9-8-5. Serebryanskaya took the bronze medal at the World Championships with this piece of apparatus. It's the same exercise. So in theory, should be better this time round. Had more time to practice, more familiar with the elements. Very smooth on those rolls. Oh, good finish by Serebryanskaya. Double roll. And she just moves forward slightly to go for that very risky catch at the end, trapping the ball behind the knees. And 1 centimetre in the wrong direction, and that could be an absolutely disastrous element. But no mistakes for Serebryanskaya. Beautifully smooth exercise. The music called Don't Leave Me, and I think that she's probably thinking that all the way through, saying that to the ball, please don't leave me. And 9-8-5, that was enough for her to match Zaripova, and enough to take the gold medal. Their confirmation of that ball final. Zaripova and Serebryanskaya, they share the gold medal. And Maria Petrova and Larissa Lukyanenko, well, they share the bronze. And not a good day at all for Maria Petrova. Turned out her best work on ball, but still can't seem to get that elusive gold. The clubs and a ribbon final still to come here. Join us after the break.
Opel, official sponsor of the Football World Cup USA 94, offers you the opportunity to win a limited edition Opel World Cup Corsa Sport. Runner-up prizes include 100 action-packed Opel History of the World Cup videos and 100 exclusive Opel World Cup t-shirts. To play and win, call now on the Eurosport line. Opel wishes you and your team good luck in this summer's competition on Eurosport.
Tennis, the ATP Tour from Halle and Rosmalen. Football, the World Cup 94. Athletics, the IAAF Golden Gala from Rome. Boxing, 2 WBO World Championships, Weir versus Camacho and Matlala versus Ampofo. Get ready for June on Eurosport.
We're back with the action from the finals day at these European Rhythmic Gymnastics Championships in Thessalonica. It's the turn of the clubs. And the first gymnast will see Amina Zaripova from Russia. And at this stage of the proceedings, she had every right to feel a little bit self-satisfied. The 17-year-old has already taken the bronze medal in the all-round competition, another bronze on hoop, and had taken the gold on ball. And the rules for finals day slightly different to the rest of the competition, the gymnasts having to include more difficult elements, as well as the A and B elements. These girls having to include a C and a D, which are combinations of A and B movements. But they obviously adding to the composition and the difficulty of the exercise. The thing with all of these elite gymnasts, though, their exercises are so difficult in the first place, but that just isn't a problem. And that catch, very difficult indeed, quite a high throw. And catches both clubs in one hand in that deep flexion. Looks simple, but it is so easy to make a mistake on that double-handed catch. Zaripova on a very fine form on this finals day. Notches up a 9.825 for that club's exercise.
Είναι τώρα η σειρά της Λαρίσα Λουκιανένκο από τη Λευκορωσία. Λαρίσα Λουκιανένκο, Bielorussia.
Lukianenko, he's been a little bit low profile so far. Shared the bronze medal on the ball final with Maria Petrova. Lukianenko, like all of the Belarusians, coached by Galina Krylenko, a very big-name gymnast during the 70s. Very difficult taskmaster is Krylenko. Expects a lot from her gymnasts. Very tough disciplinarian. And very near the edge of the carpet with that double throw. You could almost see a worried look on Lukyanenko's face. And the quality of work on this finals day, very high indeed. Very few mistakes from the gymnasts, and that's so unusual because normally by this stage of the competition, the gymnasts are tired. They're doing these exercises for the third time. And that's when the mistakes creep in. But very few mistakes so far, and certainly none there for Lukyanenko with that club's routine.
Ekaterina Serebrianskaya, Ukraine.
Lukyanenko matching the score of Zaripova. Now, what could Serebrenskaya do? She was one of the highest scorers on clubs in the team event. Got a 9.75 then. Serebrenskaya trains for 8 hours a day under the tuition of Albina Derigina. And most of these gymnasts, all of these gymnasts in fact, putting in a lot of hours in the gym. Almost semi-professional really. And as well as the training on the difficult elements in her exercise and practicing the exercises themselves, plenty of time spent on just the ballet movements, and you can really see it coming through in the work of Serebrenskaya. She is so balletic. If there is a criticism of that exercise, is that it's sometimes just a little bit too simplistic with the apparatus. If she's to develop as a gymnast, she really needs to take more risks, be a bit more adventurous, and maybe try a few different things with the apparatus, be just a bit more original. And 9.8 was the score for Serebrenskaya, and that put her into third place.
Brzeska Magdalena, Allemagne.
Magdalena Brzeska, 10th in the all-round competition. And this, her first European final. She made rope final at the World Championships last year, finished 5th in that. Brzeska at the moment in the process of building up a reputation for herself on the international scene. She's not yet in a position to challenge for medals, but I'm sure that's to come from this girl. Very talented, very tough competitor as well. Double throw, split leap forward roll. Asymmetric throw. All the gymnasts have to include that throw in their club's exercise or a variation of it. And looks up just a little bit before that catch. Could have been that she slightly miscued the throw, but got to it nevertheless. Breshka seems to relish competing on these big occasions. Really goes for all her risk elements. I don't think I've ever seen her play safe with an exercise. And Breshka has all the ingredients to be a great champion one day. But for the moment, she has to set her sights on moving up the ranking list. And 9.525, her score for clubs, very respectable indeed, but not enough this time for her to get into the medals. Confirmation of the results on the clubs. Another gold medal for Amina Zaripova. And what a good day she had. Larissa Lukyanenko shares the gold with her, with Serebrenskaya from the Ukraine taking the bronze. And Maria Petrova, the European champion, out of the medals. Despite a good performance on clubs, could she redeem herself on ribbon? Join us again after a short break.
Eurosport is the place to be for the French Open. 8 hours of live coverage every day. Action from all courts. You won't miss a thing as it all hots up at Roland Garros. Eurosport, the channel for the French Open. The French Open is brought to you by Peugeot. Nike. And Orangina, official partner. The French Open, Tuesday and Wednesday live at midday on Eurosport.
Welcome back. The last final of these European Rhythmic Gymnastics Championships. Magdalena Breshka, the first one to go on ribbon. Magdalena, no time to change her leotard from the previous final, where she finished 5th with the clubs. The judges looking out for those snakes and spirals of the ribbon. The gymnasts must include 3 different sets of each. And besides that, the swings and circles, the throws, including a pullback throw. And there, her first big throw, triple roll. You certainly need to get some height on the ribbon for that element. You need lots of time. Snagged just slightly there. Jump, illusion turn. Dramatic finish, but a couple of mistakes in that ribbon exercise for Breshka. We'll have deductions for the times that the ribbon touched her body, where she slowed down the movement of the ribbon, broke the pattern of the ribbon. A couple of catches that weren't quite clean.
Maria Petrova, Bulgarie.
Maria Petrova, she must have been disappointed at this stage of the competition. Really battled to get back her European title in the all-round event, which she did. Then couldn't quite seem to convince the judges on any of the finals. Very clever, fast choreography in this routine. But she had to stop the ribbon. She's in real danger of wrapping ribbon around her body. And finishing with that very unusual pullback throw. But that was a very tired, very jaded Maria Petrova. That routine certainly didn't have the zip or the sparkle of her performance in the all-round competition. And someone who didn't show any signs of tiredness at all during these finals, Mina Zaripova. Her medal tally at these championships, very impressive. Bronze in the all-round, another bronze on the hoop, and gold on ball and clubs. Changes the pace of the exercise. Gymnasts must show variety in the routine. Two pullback throws. Controls them very well. And another sterling performance by Mina Zaripova. Looks very well conditioned indeed, this gymnast. No sign of tiredness. And her concentration didn't lapse once during these championships. I don't think I saw her make a single mistake.
Elena Vidrichenko, Ukraine.
Elena Vidrichenko really has dominated these finals. May have felt a little hard done by in the all-round competition, where she had to be content with silver behind Petrova, but more than made up for it today. And that's fairly tricky, that pullback. Caught it in a flexion on the floor, and that means the pullback has to be absolutely spot on. Very difficult to move or adjust from that position. Double illusion into the hand balance, and Vidrichenko has looked so sharp throughout these championships, and that exercise no exception. Very smooth, very to the point. A 9.775. She certainly earned it. Plenty of difficulty in that routine.
La gymnaste Ekaterina Serebianskaya, Ukraine.
Vidrichenko's young teammate, 16-year-old Ekaterina Serebrenskaya. Serebrenskaya's style so different to Vidrichenko. There's a real contrast. She's a much slower worker, and that, of course, because of her height. Great height on those turning jumps. And good extension as well. Triple roll to finish with for Serebrenskaya. And you can see how slowly she rolls. And again, that's because she's so tall. Everything very controlled. Sometimes almost it looks as if she's working in slow motion. It may be a very different style to that of Vidrichenko, but matches her on this occasion. 9.775. The score for Serebrenskaya. And that put her joint first with Elena Vitrichenko. Confirmation there of the ribbon final. Elena Vitrichenko and Serebrenskaya, they shared the gold. And another bronze for Amina Zaripova and Maria Petrova. A less than sparkling performance from her. And again, she finishes out of the medals, as does Larissa Lukyanenko. Vitrichenko really did clean up on finals day. Certainly topped the medal table. Finished with 4 gold, including her team gold. She took the titles on rope, hoop and ribbon, as well as the silver in the all-round. And Maria Petrova, disappointing day at the finals for her. Just 1 silver medal. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage of these European Championships. That's all from me, Jackie Levy. A very goodbye to you.
The European Rhythmic Gymnastics Championships were brought to you by France Telecom, official partner of gymnastics.
Eurosport.